Okay, everybody, welcome. I want to congratulate all of you who are here at this early hour, including many students and young people. This is the earliest we've ever tried to start one of these, and I know there are a few people who are still coming. I'm Catherine Payne. I am the Vice President of the Education Institute of Hawaii and a retired educator. We are going to begin with just a few housekeeping announcements, just so that you'll hear these throughout the day, but there is an app that you can download for free from the Apple Store that will give you the conference information. If you would like to have that, it's the EIH4 download from Apple or from Google. Yes, thank you. Okay, lunch is going to be a bento served in the foyer, and just very casual meet and network with people who are here. There will be a conference evaluation online, so just look for that. Ward Research is going to be conducting it. There is a book table for you to peruse out in the lobby. Don't forget to get your parking ticket validated. The parking is complimentary. And everyone who is here will receive in the mail or through other means a free book from it's Ted Dintersmith's latest writing, which is not quite published yet, but it will be out, and he has made a donation to EIH so that every attendee will get a copy of his book. So we thank him for that. We're going to begin with a traditional opening. We have some students here. It's the student government, Aha Opio, from Kekula Samuel in Kamakau. It's one of our charter schools, and many of you know I'm affiliated with the charter schools now, and I am so proud and happy that they were able to come under the leadership of Dr. Meahilahila Kelly. So I'm going to ask them to come and to open our conference for us.
Ua we mano mano, karike koli umai o kikilo mai, o ka uno ia o ka pulama, apa makai pu kai ke ai, ua ue ye ye, he melo mai ua.
Mahalo to Samuel and Kamakau students and staff. Continuing with our focus on students and why we are here, we are so fortunate to have a student speaker to start us off with our speaking presentations. She is Cindy Mercado. She is president of the Educators Rising Group at Aiea High School. She's here with her teacher, who's the advisor for the group, Tracy Ikeda. And I know I saw her. She was helping out, so I'm delighted to introduce Cindy Mercado.
Hello, good morning. My name is Cindy Mercado and I'm a senior at Aiea High School. I am president of Aiea High's Educators Rising, which is a club that is aimed to help encourage students to become future teachers. Being here today is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and I'm so grateful to be here, and I hope that I am able to offer insight in what schools need to do to better educate and empower our students. First off, let me just say that I love public school. I was raised in a public school, I plan to teach at a public school, and I plan to even send my future kids to a public school. Public schools offer a wide range of diversity that all students need to thrive. Once students graduate and head off into the real world, whether that entails college, the workforce, or even the military, they will be exposed to all different types of people. All different types of people, and public schools help students socialize with a diverse population so that they are able to excel in all types of situations. There are so many conflicts today that are stemmed from ignorance, and I truly believe that by having an accepting and diverse campus, future generations will be more tolerant and see our commonalities rather than our differences. To ensure that schools can promote acceptance, we need our schools to offer cultural organizations and clubs to our students. And we need to have school administrators and educators with resources and trainings for diverse classrooms. We need schools that encourage students and the community to lessen the ignorance and violence that plague our society today. Schools also need to teach important life skills. When students leave high school, we should be able to problem solve, work in teams, persevere, and communicate. All these skills are needed no matter what path we choose to go on after graduation. We have all heard this complaint before, that high school does not prepare you for the real world. Schools too often are like a protective bubble. Too many of us leave this bubble feeling lost. At such a young age, we are expected to know what we want to do for the rest of our lives. I asked 38 of my classmates whether or not they thought that school was preparing them for the real world, and only 10 of them said yes. I then asked some of my friends who are high school graduates whether or not they felt that high school prepared them for the real world, and all 14 of them said no, it did not. The explanation I got was, school teaches career, not life. Our schools emphasize that once we graduate, we must go to college and start our careers, but there is so much more to that. Schools don't teach us how to do our taxes, how to buy a house, take out a loan. We aren't even taught how to maintain a good credit score, all of which are necessary things we need to know for the future. So how do we solve this problem? We train our teachers to teach these skills to our students so that they are more prepared when they leave our schools. These are not the only things that we should be teaching in our schools. One of the most important things I think we can teach students is communication. I don't mean just communicating in our professional lives. We need to be able to communicate our feelings and experiences with each other. For my generation, it is so difficult to be vulnerable. We have a hard time communicating our feelings. We are quick to text, but not to think. Schools don't teach us how to manage our emotions. This leads to misunderstandings and violence. Helping us manage our emotions, it will help us make better decisions and better our relationships and discourage us from partaking in negative behaviors. Our teachers must show us that they care. Just a simple "how is your day going?" helps us feel that we are not alone and that there is someone that we can talk to. We need teachers and administrators who provide us with intellectual and emotional safety. I know that we are blessed to have the opportunity to receive an education, but there needs to be improvements to ensure that we are able to better educate the future so that they may be successful once they graduate. To ensure success, let's prepare them for the real world. We need to ensure that our diversity on campus is celebrated. We must discourage prejudice so that students are able to get along and there are fewer conflicts in our society involved with us, build connections with us. By taking these steps, I believe schools will empower students and prepare them for the challenges ahead. I would like to thank everyone who helped me get here. Thank you, Mrs. Idika and Mr. Shumavuklu from Aiea High School for always encouraging me and giving me the safe place I needed to thrive. Thank you to my family for always supporting me every step of the way. And last but not least, thank you to Mr. Sam Kong of Aiea, our representative of Aiea, for not only supporting me, but being such a huge advocate for education in Hawaii. I'm honored to have such amazing people believe in me, and I am even more honored to stand in front of all of you today and share my point of view on how to empower our students and prepare them for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Those were wise and inspiring words, and we so appreciate your sharing your voice with us today. I'd like now to introduce our president of the Education Institute of Hawaii, Ray LaRue. Ray is a veteran in the real sense. He was in the military for many years. He was a pilot who flew the president in the helicopter. So he has a rich background which he brought to Hawaii's education world and worked in the Department of Education for a number of years in our facilities and capital improvement area. He's now helping us in our endeavors as an education institute, supporting education all over Hawaii. So please, Mr. LaRue.
Aloha and good morning, everybody. And I have to say, first of all, I mean, I try to remain humble as humble as a Marine can possibly be. But when you listen to Cindy's words and how they resonate, I think collectively us as a stakeholder group for public education in Hawaii can certainly agree she is exactly the reason why we are all in this room today and why we are collectively trying to find that path forward that's going to bring them to the dreams that they currently have. So Cindy, I can't thank you enough for those words. Makes my speech actually a lot easier. So. And I'm going to be very quick. If nothing, I want to get us back on schedule, and I could stand up here all day long, but I know that that's not part of the program. But I will make one mental note. This is our 4th annual conference, and one of those, for the football fans in the room, we typically schedule this thing right during the AFC or NFC championship. And I would always look at the head nods in the audience as everybody's trying to read the scores as those games. So blessedly, those games are now tomorrow, so I know that everybody will have their undivided attention to what's going on here. But mahalo and welcome. This is our 4th annual conference. And as you see our theme, delivering that type of change in our education system, even last year, when we met, and then a little bit beyond that. If you remember, in this very convention center, the governor held his education summit. And the team that he had put together with the Every Student Succeeds Act team that would work on the blueprint, there was an excitement, there was motivation, there was this continuity of all the stakeholders coming together, and that team, those of you who know that sit on that team, I could not think of a better community engagement stakeholder group working tirelessly to put this blueprint together. About 1.5 years and a national election later, things have changed. The landscape has changed. we're still on track to deliver this blueprint and what is best for empowering schools in our 257 schools in the public model, and then I think 5 superintendent charter schools or conversion charters. But I think we're doing God's work, and I think with the collective team that we have here, all the stakeholders that we have, we're going to get that blueprint rolling. We're going to be able to deliver the kind of education that I think our students deserve. Cindy's words actually resonated. I'm kind of going off my own script in my mind, only in that I sat in a parent stakeholder group yesterday and listened to Ted Dintersmith present to them. And you'll hear him later, and he's one of those thought leaders I think everybody should hear. I quote him a lot only because I believe what he's preaching. And when you start looking at what are we training our children to do for the jobs that are not only today, but certainly tomorrow, you start wondering what it is that we're hoping our children come out of a K-12 system have as equipment to deal with those kinds of things. And if we are hoping that they come out of a K-12 system, maybe not ready for life, but we've made them ready to handle short-term memorization, replicating low-level skills, following procedures, well then we've done our job. In fact, the system's actually working perfectly as it's designed. And we have to change that. We have to turn it upside down. We have to give these kids the skill sets to not only go out into the real world with what they know, but what can they do with what they know. And I think collectively, all of us as a group, that's our charter. And I think we can come out of here today not only redefining what a 21st century school should look like, and oh, by the way, we're 2018, there are some folks that would say we should have a pretty damn good idea what that should look like, but we don't. And I think coming out of this group today, we can define that a little bit better. I think collectively, again, we're all stakeholders in this, the legislature, parents, educators, and the business community get together. And in that spirit of change, over the past year, something that resonated with me, and I think it should for all of us in Hawaii, is this summer we appointed a new superintendent to the Department of Education. And what should come to mind is that since 2010, when the voters of Hawaii changed its constitution to authorize the governor to appoint a board of education, thereby putting the delivery of public education squarely in the governor's office, we have alignment. We have a governor who appointed his board that appointed its superintendent. And that alignment, to me, is about as good as it gets. And if we don't exploit the goodness that is in that alignment, then we're going to lose an opportunity. So me, for one, and the Institute, certainly, we're excited that that alignment exists, and I challenge every single one of us that are stakeholders for public education in Hawaii to get behind that triad and push. So welcome once again to the 4th annual conference. Be happy that the football games are tomorrow. Thank you for giving up your Saturdays, which I know are absolutely sacrosanct when it comes to family and your own personal time. But we're thrilled on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Education Institute and its Council of Advisors. Thank you for coming.
Honored to introduce our governor. Governor David Ige has been a tireless supporter of public education in Hawaii since he took on this office. He is the inspiration behind the blueprint for education for the future of public education and actually all education in Hawaii. We thank him for that, and we are very blessed to have him also on our opening speakers lineup today. So, Governor Ige, welcome.
Aloha. Thank you. I just wanted to thank the Education Institute of Hawaii for organizing and putting on this annual School Empowerment Conference. It truly is something that I believe in, and I really appreciate their efforts to bring in the leading thought leaders from across the country and around the world to share with you. I'm excited to be here for a number of reasons. You know, I always get excited about talking about education. You know, I'm a proud graduate of Pearl City High School. I've been through the public education system. You know, last weekend I was at Kamehameha School's Vex Robotics, and it was terrific to see my alma mater, Highlands Intermediate School, doing such a terrific job as part of that. And I just wanted to go off script to congratulate Cindy. I just want you to know, Cindy, there is no doubt in my mind that IAEA High School and the public school system has prepared you to be successful in the 21st century right now. So you have nothing to worry about, and thanks to Tracy. I've known Tracy for a long time. You know, we know that the world is changing, that there are many, many, many demands on our public education system. And I truly believe that we are up to the challenge and headed in the right direction to create the best education system in the country. Now, I just wanted to congratulate Dr. Kishimoto for her first 6 or so months, I guess, being on the job. I appreciate her commitment to getting out and engaging with teachers and principals and educators all across the state. I know that she's making her way to visit every school. I know that she has committed a lot of her time to do that. And I really do think it is about engagement. Thank you to many of you who participated in that summit a year or so ago to talk about the future of public education here. Let me be very clear that the blueprint were inspired by the students most of all, but definitely for many of you who chose to be part of that original summit and launched us to think bigger and broader about the future of public education here in Hawaii. I'm excited to be a partner with Dr. Kishimoto as she works on her 3 priority areas: school design, student voice, and teacher collaboration, because I truly share those priorities for our public school system. I know that each of those components are a very important part of being able to move our school system forward. I just wanted to thank all of you. Yesterday, I received a personal call from Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, to let us know that the Every Student Succeeds Act plan that the State Department of Education had submitted was approved. So congratulations, Dr. Kishimoto. And I want you all to know that the blueprint was an attachment and part of our application because we believe it sets the foundation for what we need to do to assure that our students have access to the very best education in the world. I just wanted to talk about and thank all of you involved for much of the success that we've had over the last year. I promised, and we delivered, the department delivered on improving the environment that our teachers teach in and our students learn in. We are at around 1,200 classrooms where we've improved the environment so that our students can focus on learning and our teachers can focus on teaching. I was able to be out at Nanakuli Middle School and High School to mark the 1,000th classroom. And I had the opportunity to talk and meet with the teachers and students who could not believe the world of difference that a comfortable environment can make to their student learning. So thank you, Dr. Kishimoto, and all of your team at the department for really making that happen. Last year, I really launched an effort to expand early college to each and every high school in this community. Because I really believe that early college is a game changer. It really is an opportunity to keep our best students in the public school system. It's an opportunity to give our students and families a belief in themselves that they can take on and be successful with college work. I'm so excited that we actually have our first early college student who actually completed an Associate of Arts degree before graduating high school. You probably read the story about Rovi Pesa in the newspaper. I was excited. I talked about Rovi last year in my State of the State because it is a truly remarkable story. An immigrant from the Philippines coming to Hawaii in the 7th grade, barely able to speak English, and graduating from Leeward Community College this past December with her Associate of Arts, and she'll be graduating high school from Waipahu High School in May. So, and she's not the only one. There's a cohort of about 10 students who have been able to take on the rigor of college while they're at high school. And we want to deliver early college to each and every high school across the state. I believe that it's fundamentally important to challenge our students. Most importantly, Rovi is the first in her family to go on to higher education. And we do know that education is the key to changing a family's status and improving their quality of life. So I'm definitely excited about early college. I welcome your support. We're before the legislature asking for the last bit of funds so that we can assure that Dr. Kishimoto can help us get that into every high school all around the state. We also launched last year Hawaii's Promise, which is our commitment to assure that the cost of attending is not going to be a barrier to going on to community colleges all around the state. It's a commitment by the University of Hawaii to provide the difference between the cost of attending and what someone can afford so that everyone in our community would be able to go on to community college so long as they have a commitment and a drive. Again, I'm before the legislature this year asking for the additional funds. I want to make that opportunity available to each and every citizen all across this state because I do know that education is the key to changing one's life and one's status. I am so excited, and I see Corey here. I wanted to let you know that Corey would not let me conclude the contract negotiations until we could deliver a 4-year contract for teachers. He dared me to be different, to recognize the importance of teachers and educators in our community. He wanted to make sure that we didn't burden the new superintendent with the details of that contract. And he wanted something that reflected all the efforts that teachers make on behalf of our children. So yes, we did deliver that 4-year contract so we wouldn't have to negotiate all of those aspects. And we collectively, superintendent, teachers, educators all across the state, could really focus our efforts over the next 3 years, 4 years on student and learning. We know that the only way for us to improve the quality of our education is to improve the interaction between teachers and students. That's the most important. That's where the learning occurs. That's where the action is if we are committed to making a difference here in Hawaii. So I just want to recognize Corey, thank him for being hard on me and challenging us to really put the future of education at the heart of everything that we do. I just really wanted to talk about innovation a little and about how quickly our world is changing. You know, I've been an advocate for assuring that we can move forward, and cannot believe at how quickly the pace of change in our community is happening. You know, when I was a high school student at Pearl City High School, most of us, I think, I talked for my colleagues at that time, could not wait to get my driver's license so I could drive a car, right? I mean, everybody in my cohort, the day after your 16th birthday, where you were legally able to get your driver's license, we were down at the police department to go through the test to get our driver's license. Technology is rapidly changing. General Motors announced last week that they would be mass producing driverless cars, driverless cars by 2019. That means teenagers will never ever have to think about getting their driver's license. And for parents, right, who had to teach my children how to drive, that is definitely one stress point that we don't have to deal with. But I never thought in my lifetime I would see the day that a car would become driverless, and that learning to drive a car would be meaningless going forward. The world is changing so quickly. That driverless car will have a supercomputer, right? To operate it, there'll be all kinds of sensors and radars to assure that it can safely transport whoever's in the car from anywhere to anywhere more quickly and efficiently than anyone could humanly do that. And this is 2019. You know, we're not talking about science fiction. We're really talking about 2 years from now. It really is an exciting time for all of us, but just another indication of how quickly the world is changing. So I really believe in this conference. I really believe that the world is changing too quickly for top-down direction. It really is about how we can empower our educators, how we can empower our students to demand, to be able to participate. We do know it's about project-based learning, about a different way to assess our students, because it's a different world. And I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for choosing to be here. I'm not going to be able to stay for much of the conference, but I really wanted to be here to thank you for your commitment to our students, to the inspiration of what all of us do. You know, I am committed to changing the trajectory of Hawaii, restoring faith and trust in government, to assure that our children can choose to call Hawaii home. And what you do here in this conference to talk about how we can empower schools and ensure that we challenge our students to be the best that they can be is a fundamental part of changing the trajectory of Hawaii. Mahalo and aloha.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for your support of education in Hawaii. Your understanding of what is needed is much appreciated. Thank you very much. I now have the honor, again, of introducing our superintendent, Dr. Christine Kishimoto, and we are so pleased to have you here. I've heard her speak at a number of events where she has also talked about the importance of school empowerment and of having principals and teachers and students' voices heard. So thank you for coming today and speaking with us.
Aloha! Aloha! How is everyone doing this morning? Great. I want to thank Governor for his remarks. He's been just a tremendous welcome to me into the state and a supporter of the work that I am pushing forward in public education. There's been great work done in the past few years, and I intend on continuing an aggressive push around quality public education for all students in all of our keiki in Hawaii. It's a pleasure to be here with you. There is just such a passion for education here in Hawaii. And our educators, teachers, support staff, our principals, our complex area superintendents, and state level employees really do work together as partners with our community leaders to ensure that, in fact, we have quality schools in all of our communities throughout our states. I had this tremendous opportunity this past weekend to attend a public event, actually with my husband, to hear the Austin Kino, who is an apprentice navigator on Hokulea. He had a public event where he talked about his experience in the school system, but then through KS, through Kamehameha schools, and ultimately moving into this apprenticeship and then becoming an entrepreneur. And he talked about the fact that through the learning process, he developed a deep core belief that as a learner, he has an obligation to apply what has been given to him to impact the lives of others. And as educators, we come together like this because we also hold that core belief that all that we learn, and as we continue to work together and develop our own thinking and learning, that we have an obligation to our future leaders, our keiki right now sitting in seats, and those who are coming after them, to impart knowledge to them in a way that they are empowered to impart knowledge to their future generations and to really impact where the state of Hawaii goes moving forward. I thank EIH and the leadership for bringing us together for this kind of conversation. In the 6 months that I've been on the job, and it's just been a whirlwind, but it's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed getting to know our diverse school communities that make Hawaii so great. It's been extremely exciting to work with a team of educators who have that deep commitment to access and quality and equity and culture in the state. There's incredible work being done with regard to the department's strategic vision and our aggressive targets that we have before us that we're holding ourselves accountable to. And by the way, before I forget, Cindy, you have a job, at any time you come see me, okay? Because you're going to be a teacher in the public education system and be a mover in this work, so thank you. The approach that I've introduced since I've been here and as I continue to advance forward our strategic plan, is centered on 3 really important matters: school design, student voice, and teacher collaboration. Our focus on school design is on ensuring access to quality, engaging, and diverse learning opportunities for our students. Currently, we're building out our system-wide computer science approach, if you haven't heard about that. And we're also working on adopting a language acquisition approach for all of our students to globalize our curriculum experiences. Key to ensuring quality is ensuring that students throughout our design process are part of that discussion and design, providing them the opportunity to co-design with teachers and leaders. Teacher collaboration is also important to us because in this process we need to think about how we structure teachers to serve as the educational experts that are driving our work at all levels. At all levels in our system, we're actively pushing our thinking of what it means to be a learning organization and how we support our school design concepts to ensure success for all of our keiki. This is an exciting time to watch how Hawaii's public school system is positioning itself as an education innovator. And keep up with us because there's great work going on and we are moving fast. There are a variety of school design models currently being implemented through our system with the partnership of community, business, industry, and higher education, who provide not only financial resources, but field expertise and serve as thought leaders with us in the DOE. The governor talked about early college and the support of the governor and the legislature in terms of funding last year. And I really ask us to really wrap ourselves around that request to the legislature, because Here's some facts. The number of students who are not only accessing early college, but taking AP courses and completing 6 or more college credits while in high school is skyrocketing in Hawaii. It is going up on an annual basis. And not only are students accessing these courses, they're also passing these classes and now applying to college with 6 or more credits. And so we're really excited about this work. Our students can only rise to the ceiling we put above them. And so we need to take out that ceiling and allow them to push us in terms of what they're asking for. We know that innovation requires us to invest in ideas. This is why the Department of Education has dedicated funds this year to support these efforts through a school design innovation grant. Our Innovation Funds grant will provide selected public schools and charter schools with awards between $10,000 and $250,000 over a 2-year period to pilot highly innovative student empowerment programs. The power of these grants is that they are teacher-initiated. Here's a little secret, something that we often don't talk about. It's easier to talk about empowerment than it is to deliver on an empowerment system. And so we have to be patient with each other and work with each other on what it means to have a true empowerment system. Empowerment does not mean that you selectively disempower those who you no longer want at the table. It actually means that you design a system that provides greater decision-making power along with finances and resources to the site-based level to deliver on the work. You change the role of the players. You don't discount any players, so that the driving designer is the school. While this does not happen overnight, the HIDOE, or the Hawaii Department of Education team, will be working on our way towards this model within our organizational learning structure and design. Over $6 million of requests we have received within a short few weeks from teachers and schools. I look forward to announcing the winners soon and talking about the kind of grants that have been submitted. In fact, those grants will be then displayed by our teachers at our ELI conference this summer. HIDOE will continue to be a driver of innovation, preparing the leaders that will impact the creative designs of business and industry tomorrow. I want to give a warm mahalo to all who are committed to improving our public school system, and I wish you a great conference today. Thank you.